That's my awesome husband that took a random guy down to his house to check it out, just to see how it was doing. And here they come back, sitting in the truck waiting on him. They're great. He's awesome. I love him.
This past week's What If Challenge was just seriously interrupted by literally 2 lakes emptying into our neighborhoods and our towns in Midland, Michigan, Sanford, Michigan, and kind of some surrounding areas. And man, it just turned homes and streets into disaster zones, really. These things were caked in mud. Buildings were moved off their foundations. Just overturned cars, just gunk absolutely everywhere.
Making this a tragedy for hundreds and hundreds of families. Thankfully, 11,000 people were evacuated in a very short amount of time and no lives were lost. We just wanted to give a short video about Here's Our Life, is how we lived it this week.
Just a quick notice, this is not about us. In no way. This is just our story and our life as we lived it this past week. Not seeing many names of folks on here or pictures of people, just out of respect to their privacy. And we'll get into a little bit later just how we were so encouraged about all the helpers and those in the community that came together. We have never seen, in our lifetime, never seen anything like this at all. It was absolutely crazy. So on Monday, we had some rain over the weekend, and it was a lot of rain in a short period of time. And even here at our home, we live about 10 miles north of Midland. Even at our home, we had more water around our property, around our home than we've ever had before. It was up to the road, over the road. They closed the road. And then that was kind of what we experienced. And then in town, people getting water in their basements from groundwater, those types of things, because the water with levels were high. But then by Tuesday afternoon, there's 2 dams that are upstream from Sanford and Midland, and the water volume from the rain was so much that it started breaching. And so by, when was it, Tuesday night? Was it Tuesday night? We kind of got the messages, you know, those emergency messages that come across on your phone at 1:40 a.m. in the morning, and your phones are going off. You're like, what is going on? And they said that the first dam had breached, and then not a little bit of time after that, they said that it had broken, and then it wasn't, was it the next day or real close to that, on that Tuesday, they said that that it was collapsed. And so it was crazy.
During that time, we had friends from town that came out to our house. They needed a place to stay to get away from the effects of the dam breaking, the first dam breaking. By Wednesday morning, we had some friends that live out of town but have parents that live right in the middle of the flooding area that had not evacuated, and they needed our help. Kevin and I went in and walked in as far as we could. It got to about our thighs and it was freezing cold. We couldn't go any higher, and to get to their house was like 8 houses further down, and it would have been chest high, and we just couldn't do it. So we walked back out and waited for her husband to get there. We went and got our canoe, and we were helping different people with our canoe while we were waiting for her husband. We helped a couple of people get pumps out to their homes and things like that. On that same day, on that Wednesday, the people that were staying here, their daughter turned 18. So Jenna kind of threw an in-home birthday party. She took care of hosting that day and feeding them, and had a few of her friends over and just helped to make her day special in the midst of her home getting flooded. It also being her senior year. So it's really tough around here right now. Different things. So by Wednesday afternoon and evening time, after we had gotten the people the canoe and they were talking to her parents and trying to evacuate them, we had another friend whose basement was filling up with sewer water, and he was trying to keep it down, but he got it down, so we helped get all the stuff out of his basement. Then came Thursday. What happened on Thursday?
Yeah, so Thursday we went to Sanford, which is where the second dam was. That second dam didn't actually break, but what had happened is the water went around the dam into an overflow, whatever they call it. I don't know what the exact word is there. But basically, over a period of, a day and a half, the water in 2 lakes had basically drained out. And in Sanford, which is where that dam is where most of the damage occurred from the floods. And, water, up to, in homes, up to my head. And, obviously basements flooded, and just fish. They couldn't make it down the drains, just hanging out, died on top of the drains. And the mud in the homes, oh my goodness, it was just a lot of mud in homes. And going in there Thursday night into Sanford, it literally felt like, someone said it yesterday, like a third world country. Just dust and people, just, I can't imagine what that would feel like if that were me. Just feeling devastated, really. Hopes, people were, the first couple days especially, people were kind of trying to keep their hopes up and spirits up, and then like all of us, just after a little period of time, it very quickly starts to set in what's really happened, even with all the people around them helping. Friday, we were back in basements helping tear stuff out, wherever the water was, or the first levels, right? You're tearing out all that sheetrock and molding and flooring and all those things, getting it out to the road, which just creates piles and piles and piles of debris, basically.
Jenna and I on Friday actually ended up at the laundromat here in town. We just took in whoever called the church. People were set up to go grab their wet blankets and clothes and all that sort of thing, and would bring them, and we would disinfect them and put them through the whole laundry pot process. And we did that both Friday and Saturday. It felt like just gobs and gobs of laundry for 2 days.
I'm thinking Sonia's not going to want to do laundry again at our house for a very long time. And then we've had friends staying with us, some folks staying with us on and off, a couple different families staying with us through this time to get out of town. And then on Saturday, we were back to doing laundry again, and I was off back in Sanford fixing a pipe. I happened to make a couple trips to get the right fitting and but trying to be helpful there. And then Jenna and I were able to cook for a family in town. We took our grill and got some food and put it all together and fed a family, and then they went around to their neighbors and invited them over, and it was really cool to be
I was still doing laundry.
Yeah, she didn't get to join us. She was still doing laundry. And then yesterday, we got up and we watched church service online, and then we headed into town, and Samaritan's Purse had set up in our church parking lot, and they were organizing there and getting teams of people to go out. So we were able to go help a very specific family yesterday that really had no help up to that point, just the mom, the dad, and a son, and their parents were quite old. So it was really cool. Had a couple guys, young guys from church, come to help me move stuff out. They did an awesome job helping, and then Sonia and Jenna and another gal from SALT, Single Adults Living Truth, was there helping, doing a lot of cleaning and picking up, and they were just overwhelmed with gratitude to be there. And it was cool to be able to go help.
It was, really, and it was about helping them emotionally and just being another voice and someone to come in. You could just see them relax the longer we were there. They were very uptight when we arrived and overwhelmed, and by the time we left, we felt like they were like, okay, we can sit down tonight and eat our dinner, and it's going to be okay. We gave them the number for Samaritan's Purse to be able to help the next steps. There was nothing more that we could do there, but it was just amazing. One of the great things that we've gotten to do along the way is just to stop and pray with people. Even in the laundromat, Jenna reminded me of the second day in, Mom, this is a ministry. It's not just about cleaning people's laundry, but to be able to start up conversations. And there were a lot of conversations during this time. People are so starved for conversation. But at the end of a conversation, to be able to stop and pray with someone about this has been a huge, huge blessing.
Yeah. We're just so encouraged. We're sharing again what we did this week, not to be in any way to sound prideful. What's not it about at all. What it's about is like there was so many more people than us out there helping, doing the same exact things, helping neighbors, helping people they don't even know, and that was just that was amazing to see in the community. It really, truly was. And then, other organizations coming in. I've never experienced that before. I mentioned Samaritan's Purse, Convoy of Hope was here, and there's others as well. Christian Disaster Relief, they came in. It was, just absolutely amazing.
Warriors of Christ came in on the second day and provided 200 meals for the community and for our workers from our church. There are just so many people just coming together, and that's what we want you to see, is that our community just stepped up. People have just surrounded each other, whether they're of like faith or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know each other. You're just in the trenches together.
You were just humans being kind and gracious.
Yes.
Yeah, all around. It was very, very awesome. The biggest takeaway for me, I think, in all this is just from all the devastation that we have an ever firm confidence in our faith. That despite this broken world of man-made dams and neighborhoods and streets and homes and stuff, right? All those stuff, that the God of the Bible just makes a way for us to find true joy still in all of it.
Yes, and we've seen that joy in many that we've served with this week. We know it's sad and they've lost so much, but with the feelings of loss and pain of rebuilding, there's a hope and there's a joy in the community. Friends that are just on video just saying of how many things, this is stuff, the thing that got to them the most. It was the outpouring of love and the outpouring of people from all over. Their teacher, and it was students' parents, it was, close friends, it was the whole church body just coming together. The truth they believe and live out is permanent. It happens and is kept even in the times of disaster.
Yeah. So we're grateful to be helping others, and I know so many others are, and I think that, just as we think, we have to be very intentional about the coming weeks, that it's easy for all of us that aren't directly affected to get back into our normal lives, and we just need to be intentional to be able to still reach out to people, be an encouragement to them, help physically, and also from a resource perspective.
If you aren't local and you have the resources to help out financially, please consider giving something, anything, to help out by going to this website below and donating. Many in our community did not have flood insurance because,
they weren't in a floodplain.
and a lot of insurances are denying the claims that are going through right now, which is very difficult. So your prayers and encouragement to others is also needed and very, very welcome.
Mm-hmm. So that's our What If Challenge for this week. There really wasn't a What If Challenge. We just got busy and did it. Didn't expect a flood, but there it was. So that's our life. This is it as we're living it, and many others are as well. So we hope that you're inspired to go live a better story and share your life as you live it with us.